I want to introduce Kim McDowell.
Deeply aware of both the beauty and the fragility of this planet, we share a sense of calling. Discovering and developing alternatives to depleting the Earth's resources is the common ground on which we're gathered here today. When David Brosh began talking to us about this idea a few years ago, several people here immediately sensed the potential and found themselves interested. Two of them, Hooker and Dave Bixler, who is also here today, were regular participants in the University Park Community Solar meetings throughout the last year or two, and they brought back to us some of what was being discussed in that setting. From the start, many people here also found it a compelling vision. We believe here that we are stewards of the earth, gifted with this rich and diverse home and responsible for its care. There were lots of questions and details to be hammered out, particularly as the power purchase agreement took shape and we had to get down to the nitty-gritty. And we are very grateful for the persistence and the patience that were offered to us and within the whole group that was working on that. When confusion, which was common, and obstacles or needs for negotiation arose, there was a spirit of collaboration and willingness to discuss almost anything, which we deeply appreciate. Though none of us assumes that this final product that we've come up with is flawless, we do feel that it represents hours of work that can be passed on to others as a model. The Church of the Brethren comes from a tradition that values simplicity and community, and in that spirit we celebrate the collaboration that's represented here today, one that unites us in turning toward a natural resource that is available to all the Earth's people.
Here comes the sun, here comes the sun, and I say it's all right to do. Little darling, it's been a long, cold, lonely winter. Little darling, it feels like years since it's been here. Here comes the sun, here comes the sun, and I say it's all right to do. Little darling, the smiles returning to the faces. Little darling, it seems like years since it's been here. Here comes the sun, here comes the sun, and I say it's all right. Sun, 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 here it comes. Sun, 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 here it comes. Sun, 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 here it comes.
There you go. The system's all turned on.
Here it comes.
It's my sincere pleasure to introduce our speaker, Mike Tidwell.
It's such an ugly addiction. Our addiction to oil is so appalling. It is so disruptive. It is so violent. It is so dysfunctional. It is so disruptive to our national security, to our air quality, to our water quality, to our life-giving climate. Our addiction to oil is irrational. It is absurd. It is avoidable. And yet we do it, and we hang on to it. So now that we're now drilling in mile deep sections of ocean, you go out further in the Gulf of Mexico, there are giant oil rigs, one called Bullwinkle, one's called the Mars Project. They go through 5 miles of water to get to the ocean surface and then go another mile below that. Literally constellations of oil platforms. This is what we're talking about. This is the scale. This is the volume. You know, Al Gore said that addiction, you know, a heroin addict will, once all the veins collapse in his arms and his neck, will start shooting up in his toes. I mean, that's what we're doing with oil. This deep shore drilling, this going deeper and deeper and having no plan for when things go wrong. That's us shooting up in our toes. This is desperate, and it's time to stop. This is the intensity of our addiction to a finite, dangerous, climate-wrecking fuel. And the point from the oil spill has to be, the lesson we need to learn is we need to get off oil. It's not enough to have better regulation. We can't regulate away human error. We can't regulate away equipment malfunction when it's at this scale. We have to get off oil. And we know what we need to get onto. Better efficiency, wind power, solar.
Power to the people! Power to the people! Power to the people!
I'm walking on sunshine, oh, and don't it feel good, and don't it feel good, I'm walking on sunshine, oh, I'm walking on sunshine, oh, I'm walking on sunshine, oh, and don't it feel good. Let the sun shine, let the sun shine, the sun shining, let the sun shine, let the sun shining, the sun shining, let the sun shine.
We have a lot of trees, and we have houses that don't have good solar access, and maybe they're pointing the wrong way. We wanted to find a model where people could invest and wouldn't have to spend a huge amount of money, and I think we've accomplished that. We also, it's been part of our focus that we wanted to set up a model where other people could then replicate it, come after us, and then maybe we have more of an impact that way. And I think we have accomplished the first things, and we hope that the others will follow, that we will have other folks coming behind us.